Coming to you live from the Montour Athletic Center in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania. The Champ Sports Network welcomes you to high school hoops as tonight the Montour Spartans play host to the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Fargo, joined alongside Mike Asti. Welcome to Champ Sports Network's presentation of high school basketball. As tonight, these two teams, Mike, Thomas Jefferson and Montour, searching for their first victory of the season. Both really storied basketball programs. These two teams regularly win their section, but both of them kind of finding themselves in a rebuilding season. Looking at both of these teams as far as how they gotten to this point, you have a Thomas Jefferson team that comes in 0-6 on the year and a Montour team that comes in 0-4. And while this game isn't in section, it's still a triple-A battle. And for morale's sake, they have to get this first notch. It's going to be a big one here for both of these teams tonight.
Well, as you said, these are two programs, not only two basketball programs in the WPIAL, but two athletic programs that have a lot of pride, have a lot of history. Thomas Jefferson synonymous with the gridiron as well as the hardwood. And when you get TJ and Montour, you're going to get people to recognize what they've done in the past. But it is all about the present right now. Yes, they haven't got a win yet in this season, but they've been competitive in recent games. It may not be a section game, but they still want to get this win. One of these two teams will get this win, obviously, and that can springboard you into the future, can springboard you into rivalry games, springboard you into section games, springboard you the rest of your season. It's still a young season, and while you're rebuilding, you still want to do the best you can in that individual season. And I expect a competitive game, a lot to be left on the line, and two teams that are desperate for that first victory here tonight.
Your starters first for TJ, it's CJ Mason, Frank Gentili, Cam Sarber, Russell Zeese, Steve Dunlap, and Zane Zendler. For Montour, they'll send out Mike Butler, Cam Cullers, Terrell Elam, Randall Labrie, and KJ Rhodes. We're underway from Montour. The lights are back on. Got the Chicago Bills. That's a intro.
Nice. That's
an intro right there.
That's a professional intro. That is a professional intro. Gets you pumped.
And it's fought for and finally won by Montour. They control the basketball to open things up here at the Montour Athletic Center. Near side wing controlled by Collier. Swinging out to the top of the key and over to the left side, it's Labrie. Labrie heads it back out top to KJ Rhodes. Rhodes rotates the basketball to his right and gets it right back. A screen is set up. Right-handed dribble for Rhodes. Throws up a shot. It hit off the side of the backboard. He gets it back off a steal. Throws up another shot. This time he finds the rim and it falls in. KJ Rhodes puts Montour on the board 2-0.
And that's just Montour using a little bit of a slight size edge to their advantage. They go to the hoop, they be aggressive, they get the rebound and get the second chance basket.
Thomas Jefferson's first offensive possession. Far side wing, three ball in the air, and it's good. As draining that one is number 2 for Thomas Jefferson, CJ Mason.
Well, you couldn't have had two opposite offensive sets for both teams. One going inside, penetrating, using size. The other team outside. Doesn't matter how big or small you are, using their splash silkiness with an incredible shot to the outside for three.
Gentili on a drive right wing. That's swatted out of the atmosphere by the big fella, Terrell Elam. He's 6'6" and a senior for this Montour squad. As Thomas Jefferson will move right to left across your computer screen or mobile device, whatever you're listening to us on. Another three ball from CJ Mason. That clangs off the rim, but TJ gets the rebound. Swinging outside and then up top. It's controlled once again by Frank Gentili, and he'll move it to the left side now. Zeiss on a drive. Trick shot, got it to go. Up and under move.
And right through three Montour defenders. Montour stayed in a man-to-man, and they went right by him, and that was an athletic move for the backup on the layup for TJ.
First foul of this game on a hand check that is going to be called on Thomas Jefferson. CJ Mason with that opening three. Mason is a junior on this Thomas Jefferson squad at 5'8". Montour controls the basketball now. Swing it to the left side, into the far side wing to Colliers. He'll throw it inside, and give it to the big fella, Elam, who puts it up and in. It's 5-2. Montour leads.
And when you have players a few inches taller and bulkier, what are you going to do underneath the boards? If you don't get the basket, they know they're going to get the board. That's why they're so comfortable getting down there in the paint and dominating so far against TJ early on.
Thomas Jefferson on the baseline. Missed the first shot. They get the rebound. It's Sarber on a second effort. Couldn't do it either. Rebound this time goes to Montour. Right side wing. Three is good. Drained by K.J. Rhodes. The 6'3 freshman trades it from the beyond the arc.
And TJ got a little slow getting back there defensively. If Montour's going to hit from the outside and hit three-pointers on top of their size as in the paint, they're going to be devastating. TJ needs to make sure they got their breath and they can keep up speed-wise in this game.
Sarber throws it inside to Zeiss. And a travel call back the way of Montour. A battle of black and gold here tonight at Montour High School, the Spartans and the Jaguars.
And not only on the two off colors by both teams, but even the ambiance here at the Montour Athletic Center. This is the Pittsburgh feel here tonight.
Sitting and hanging out with the basketball at center court is Randall Labrie on a right-handed dribble. Will move with the basketball, drive inside, go into traffic, and he's going to travel. And a great defensive play on that one to almost force him to travel for Thomas Jefferson. That was Zeiss who forced him to travel there.
And Zeiss set his feet. He stayed there. He stayed like a rock, and you could have either called a travel or even an elbow. It almost was too much on the offense on a push-off for the shot.
And Dom DeSico, the head man of Thomas Jefferson. This is a team, Mike, that's gone 35-1 in section play in the last 3 years. They've won 4 out of the last 5 section championships. Dom DeSico is, from what I've been told, a little bit humbled by this experience so far this year because they're just quite frankly not used to it.
Oh, and I'll say, and you have a team and you have a coach that's been around the block and they're used to winning, and not only winning, but winning in bunches and competing for championships and being in the elite of your conference and being in the elite of your section, the WPIAL. And this year has been not that. It has been the opposite of that. They kind of knew what to expect coming into the season. His expectations are going to be tempered, but it'll be a frustrating season for him and his team. You can compare it to maybe what Kobe Bryant's dealing with the Lakers, and you see how that's boiling over for a legend losing for the first time really in his career, or at least in a while.
Put that in perspective, they already have 3 section losses this year. They had 1 in the last 3.
You could argue he's less used to losing than Kobe Bryant was.
As a drive out there for Thomas Jefferson after the timeout. Kim Sarver with a slice and dice move. Ties things up at 7 under 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Across the timeline, Randall Labrie. The Montour Spartans, another offensive trip up the floor. Labrie still control, stopped his dribble, threw it inside. Tic-tac-toe move, and on his way up to the line and fouled was Terrell Elam, the 6'6 senior, and he'll head to the line. That was great passing by the Spartan offense. And, of course, Elam going up and getting the contact. That will be a foul being charged to Zeiss, his first foul, and the team's second. Missing that first one was Elam.
That was one of those doomed if you don't, doomed if you do. I mean, that was almost destined to be a foul. It was one-on-one, a complete 30-pound difference in edge there from player to player, and it was forced to foul to avoid the shot. He makes the free throws, and that's what Montour wants to do. They want to get to the line, they want to draw the single coverage, and they want to get a foul, if not the shot, in the paint.
Thomas Jefferson pressed. They break it and move the basketball up. Here's a drive, and a foul is called on a driving Frank Gentili, a 5'10 senior, getting pulled down, and the foul going to go up against Montour's Mike Butter, and that's going to be his first foul, the team's first as well. Thomas Jefferson, far side wing 3, clanging off the rim, no good. Rebound loose, finally brought down by Labrie. He'll move it here to the right side wing, and Rhodes swings it back around to the point man and Labrie. No look pass inside. Elam off the window. Nice block there. Thomas Jefferson getting Zeiss up and in and swatting that one away. Thomas Jefferson comes back with the basketball. They drive it inside. Highly contested shot there.
No
was
foul
intercepted
call
by Montour. Intercepted again by Thomas Jefferson, and going up for a shot at a foul is Thomas Jefferson's 24, Steve Dunlap, with the foul there. And that will send Dunlap to the line shooting 2. And what a fast pace, and no one wanted the basketball there.
Well, it was fast paced, and as tight as the referees called in the last 2 possessions, I was surprised we didn't see a foul call, if not 2 foul calls there. Once you have a player falling down to the ground, and maybe it's a dive, but still, you saw an elbow there going at his rib section, which caused the falling, and I would have thought it was a foul. And TJ ends up at the line, though. I thought that was a foul on TJ about a few minutes ago.
Dunlap hits his first, and we have our first substitutions in. And 32, Zane Zandir checking in for the Jaguars. Caleb Bryant in for Montour, along with Braden Jones. LeBrie remains in as the point man. Swinging right side, Thomas Jefferson takes a 1-point advantage as they converted the line, and a blocking foul charge on the near side. DeSico wanted to travel, was not granted one by the Zebra Stripes.
I think the referees noticed how aggressive these two teams were being in the beginning of this game and kind of wanted to get control on it here.
Gentile picks up his first foul, the team's third. 3-2 in fouls early in this one. 3:35 first quarter action, 9-8. Thomas Jefferson. 3-ball in the air, clanging hard off the rim. It was thrown up originally by Rhodes, and it was pulled down by Rhodes. That's how large that rebound was. LeBrie pulling it out to the left side wing. Colliers for three, well off the mark. The rebound goes to Thomas Jefferson. Zeiss picked it up, and he still controls the basketball for Thomas Jefferson on a right-to-left-hand dribble. Swing it left side to Gentile. He'll pull it back out to the top of the key. Back over to the left, and it's Zeiss. Toss it back over to 24. Checked into the game, Steve Dunlap. Dunlap over to Mason. He'll drive. Back over to Dunlap. Throwing up a shot. Contested. Pulled down by Braden Jones and Montour. LeBrie back with the basketball. He'll drive. No look pass. Was tipped and intercepted by Thomas Jefferson. It was Zeiss again that pulled it down. He'll still have it, and a foul is called. A good hand check foul indeed. Nice job there by the officials. That's one that often goes uncalled, but one called there.
And you see the difference, too, of Montour with Tyrell on the bench. You see they're going less to the aggressive side. They're going less at the basket. They're less prone to going through the paint, a lot of outside shooting and perimeter shooting, more of a jump shooting team. They're playing small based on who's on the floor. And now TJ could really take advantage of this if they can get some turnovers and get some points on their side.
Foul was on Caleb Bryant. Ties things with teams fouls at 3, his first. Thomas Jefferson with the basketball now. Mason swings it outside of the center court line and now back down deep on the left side wing and back out top to C.J. Mason. The junior controls. Bounce pass to his right. And Zandir kicking it far side wing out to the far side to Sarber. 3 goes off the mark. The rebound to Montour as it was pulled down by K.J. Rhodes. Rhodes avoiding a would-be interceptor of that pass. Worked it to the far side wing, and a 3-ball is good. Cam Colliers drains it. The 6'1 sophomore. A young Montour team showing some range here early. They lead it 11-9.
Yeah, something that maybe TJ didn't expect from Montour, but a crater of a shot. Splash get in there for 3 as Montour gets the lead.
TJ tries to answer with the 3 of their own. C.J. Mason misses from the far side wing. Rebound pulled down by Montour. It's Braden Minetti with the basketball who had just checked into the game, and we want a timeout on the floor. This is first-year coach Will Saunders. Came over from South Park, and he's the new man. Of course, Adam Kaufman, who was the head coach of Montour and won the WPIAL championships, and of course took the Montour Spartans to 2 state championships. Went down the street. He's a Montour graduate, went down the street to Moon High School, the rival. But of course, I don't think there's any hard feelings from the folks here at Montour. They wish, of course, Adam and his family. He just had a newborn child. Congratulations to Adam. And but still, I don't know. Leave your graduate. That's rough. Tough. That's tough to do.
It's rough. Everything that he did for Montour, I'm sure they appreciate it. But it is rough, and it'll be especially rough if they get to see him do the same and have the same resume and build the same future for Moon, a program that they probably secretly down inside, maybe even outwardly, don't want to have success. I mean, it's one of those marquee rivalries in all the WPL, especially in the Western Hemisphere of the WPIL athletically. And I guess he didn't really have to move his family too much. It's not much of a relocation.
No.
But
he was already living in there.
Yeah, really need to move. No, but still, that gets you there in the emotions. But still, it does not take away from what you did in your past just because of changing schools, even in a rivalry.
Well, circle December 18th on your calendar. Montour goes to Moon. So Keep an eye on that. We get a foul called here after the timeout. 1:31 to go in the opening quarter. 11-9. Montour leads Thomas Jefferson. We're going to call that a travel, not a foul. Montour to trigger it in from the baseline is Braden Jones. Jones finally gets it into the far side wing. Colliers and out to KJ Rhodes for three. Missed. Rhodes got the rebound. Tried to work it in. Went off the hands. Rhodes finds the basketball again. Worked it far near side wing for three. And it's good. This time drained by Brady Minetti, the junior. Stroking it from beyond the arc. And now that's the fourth Spartan to hit a three. Baseline. Floater. No good for Thomas Jefferson. They get the ball back, and driving and throwing up a shot is Russell Zeiss. He is fouled, and he'll head to the line to shoot two. 14-9 our score with 1:01 to play. Some substitutions checking in. Foul charged to Montour's Cam Colliers. That's his first, team's fourth, and here's the first shot coming up for Zeiss. It hits off the rim, no good.
And I think these last few minutes might be a key factor in this game for TJ if they would lose, because when Terrell was out of this game, not only did they not take advantage, they went to a larger deficit, and Montour went smaller and more of an outside shooting team, but they were drilling three after three after three. So they were building on the lead and tacking on it, giving Tyrell a rest, and then he gets to once again be a beast down on the board to make it that much more difficult for TJ to come back.
Second shot off the mark, but one out of bounds off of Montour, so TJ's going to get another shot on this trip up the floor. Inbound will come for CJ Mason. Checking into the game, Frank Gentili checks in for Nick Freewald, who had checked in earlier in the contest. Tossed it into Sarber, and now they give it off to Gentili. He'll slice and dice into the left block, missed the shot. Rebound pulled down by Montour and moved quickly up ahead to Randall Labrie, who settles things down at the center court line on a right-handed dribble. Under a minute to play in the opening quarter. Swing it right side. Back up top to Labrie and over to the right. And Minetti. Labrie gets it back, and now Rhodes. Rhodes hands it off to Minetti. Minetti thought about driving, but it's then handed off to teammate Labrie, and now over back to Jones at the center court line, down to 24 seconds. Minetti in some trouble at the center court line. Thomas Jefferson backs off and tosses it back over to Labrie. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Labrie guarded by Gentili. Tossed it back over to Rhodes, and this is just a pitch and catch between the three of them, Rhodes, Gentili, and Minetti. Gentili fadeaway with 2 seconds, airballed it. Rebound by Thomas Jefferson as the buzzer sounds. So after one quarter of play, it is Montour leading Thomas Jefferson 14-9. It's high school hoops on the Champ Sports Network. We'll be back to Montour after these words.
I'm Janelle Wright, a Panera Bread customer. I am the mother of 4 children, and I'm a professional violinist. After eating the breakfast power sandwich, I know that I'm fueled for the day and I feel satisfied. To me, this is the only fresh, wholesome option out there because the competitors have something that's processed that they're warming up in the microwave. What I love about the breakfast power sandwich are the wonderful ingredients. It's the all-natural egg, the Vermont white cheddar, and smoked ham on freshly baked whole grain bread. Something under 350 calories, and that's awesome. Panera Bread, make today better.
High school hoops on the Champ Sports Network, brought to you by Panera Bread. Live consciously, eat deliciously, Panera Bread. And by the few, the proud, the Marines. Back to the Montour Athletic Center. Do not call this place a gym. Like, Montour people get upset.
No, this is high standards here. You don't need to call this a gym, and you won't even get a gym vibe when you walk in here. If you're getting a gym vibe when you walk in here, you don't have a pulse, or you're not awake enough.
Open up the second quarter. Steve Dunlap gets Thomas Jefferson on the board with the 2, and it's just like that, 14-11. Montour's first trip up the floor here in the second quarter to the far side wing. It's Mike Butter. Butter misses the shot. Rebound, though, underneath. Elam goes up, and he walked with the basketball back to Thomas Jefferson.
He thought he was fouled in there, but you're not going to get every single call when you're that big and towering over everybody. Just one extra step, it was the correct call in TJ basketball.
Back up the floor come the Jaguars. Gentili with it and will drive all the way to the baseline before kicking it back outside Mason. The head fake, drive, kick out far side wing. Hustling to the basketball quickly was Gentili, and then he threw it into the backcourt. And this will be a backcourt violation on Thomas Jefferson. Ball will go back the way of the Spartans with 7:03 to play in the second quarter, 14-11 Montour on top. Tossed it into LeBrie. Worked it far side wing to Rhodes in the corner. Inside to Elam on the baseline. Cross-court pass. Got it over to Butter and now back out to the point of LeBrie. Over to Butter. Back out to LeBrie. And he'll keep an eye on things. Tossed it to the right side wing and Butter, and they play pitch and catch once again. Long possession for Montour. Worked it inside. 24's on the floor. That's Braden Jones. That shot missed. Put back by Elam is no good, and then tipped out of bounds by Thomas Jefferson. So staying with Montour basketball at 6:26 in the quarter.
I think you got to take that shot for three. You had a lane, yes, you did, but it was a wide open shot, an uncontested shot, and you still had Tyrell there waiting underneath the basketball for the rebound if you did miss.
Far side wing, it's Rhodes and up to LeBrie. Heavily guarded by Gentili and LeBrie going at it. Nice move by LeBrie to create some separation. Butter for three from the top of the far near side wing. That missed. Rebound finally to Thomas Jefferson. They'll get an opportunity with it. Mason on the drive all the way to the rack. Foul is called. It's offensive. And it will go back to Montour. The foul charged to C.J. Mason on the offensive charge.
And that's a smart call by the referees because I think they realize now that TJ's saying to themselves, okay, he's so much bigger than us. We're going to be aggressive and we're going to draw the foul, and you're going to feel sorry for us being smaller and having to take the beating. These referees aren't going to put up with that. They know somebody going with the elbow, elevating themselves and jumping at a player is not going to be acceptable, and they allowed that not to happen on their court, calling the offensive foul. That was a great call by the referee, a very aware call by him watching the entire play.
LeBrie has the basketball from Montour at center court. Crossover move on Gentili, but he got his pocket picked by Mason. Pass up ahead to Gentili. He missed the layup. The rebound picked up by Montour. It was Braden Jones who took the basketball away. Got it up to Rhodes. Rhodes, the bounce pass back up over to Jones, and Jones worked it back over to Rhodes. Near side wing. Three's in the air from Butter. Off the rim, no good. Tipped around, finally pulled down by Thomas Jefferson. It was Cam Sarber who pulled it down. Sarber still with it. Tried to go coast to coast. Could not book his two tickets, and a foul is called. And this will be I believe on the court foul, or will this give a chance for Sarber to shoot?
TJ, I think, thought they were going to be setting up at the free throw line.
They called the foul on Sarber off the rebound on Thomas Jefferson. Sarber's first foul, the team's fifth.
You even see him. He was going, me? Some players in TJ, I think, are still confused, but it does flip in Montour basketball.
5:10 to play in the first half, 14-11. Montour hasn't scored in this quarter yet.
They haven't needed to, though. TJ just cannot convert. They're missing layups. They're taking fouls. They're intentionally fouling.
Elam misses, and there's a bucket and a foul, and there's Montour's first points of the quarter. We had only seen a total of 2 points to this point in the quarter, and now Terrell Elam changes that, and he's going to try to make the three-point play the old-fashioned way with the bucket of the foul. The foul was charged to Thomas Jefferson's. That was Cam Sarber, his second, the team's sixth of this half. And here's the three-point play trying to be converted by Elam, and he does. The big fella got some touch. No hack-a-shack tonight, Mike.
No, you can't do that. He not only has the touch, but he is a very skilled player. He knows where he is on the court. He knows where his defenders are. He will just snuff you up on the one-on-one. He'll even be able to deal with you double team, which is what we saw there getting the basket. He draws the foul, and then he can even hit the free throw. He's very hard to deal with for TJ, and they've not really had an answer.
Thomas Jefferson up the floor, and a jump ball is called. The arrow favors the home team, the Montour Spartans.
And also, how about Montour? They have a traditional center that can really dominate you in the paint, but also have outside shooting. Not many teams have the center and the outside shooting. They are a fundamentally strong team, is Montour, and they're only going to keep on improving. It almost makes you wonder how they have not won yet in this season, but they are rebuilding and are young, but it's going to only be the sky the limit for this team from what I'm seeing so far tonight.
Labrie to the far side to Rhodes. Rhodes drives the baseline. Bounce pass inside Labrie, and before Elam went up for the shot, a foul was called. They're going to call it on the floor, so no basket. The foul going on Thomas Jefferson's Zane Zandier.
It almost didn't matter, though.
6'2" sophomore.
He could have made that shot with fouls, without fouls, with the defenders, 2 or 3 of them. They're hanging on him, and he's able to there almost dunk for the basket. And Elam and Tyrell starting to feel this now. You can tell he's getting into this game. That little respite he took in the first quarter made him get a pep in his step, and he's kind of taken over this game. While TJ has been in a scoring drought single-handedly, he's been able to propel this game for Montour.
Dom Sleva into the game for Montour. Tip away, throw, and there's a foul as Elam looked like he got all ball, and
he's smiling.
Yeah, he is.
He's still smiling. I think he likes this now. He knows that they're on him, and he's going to be double teamed this entire game. But he knows how to deal with that, and that's what he's always going to be dealing with most games, especially in a matchup that kind of is favorable to Montour to get that first win in an oversized matchup with them having the traditional center that TJ does not have. Basically, a bunch of shooters. They can't really deal with the man-to-man.
Missed both on the 2 shots for Thomas Jefferson. Zandier could not convert.
Now, Tyrell does need to keep his emotions in check.
Yeah, because the official did have a chat with him at the line there.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently he was smiling too much.
He was not only smiling too much, but then I saw 3 more TJ players crowd him as they're walking the other side of the court. He says something to him and kind of tries to move away from him. They're going to intentionally kind of try to tee him off. And he needs to know that, and he needs to check himself and play basketball. He's the best player on the court from what I'm seeing, but TJ just as conscious that as Montour is, and if he unravels, the referees are going to go after him and change their demeanor.
So the foul off the rebound on Thomas Jefferson gives Montour a chance for a 1-and-1. They missed the front end of it. Thomas Jefferson the rebound, a drive, and a kick out. Baseline thought attempt there by Dunlap, but he was able to kick it out to Freewald. Freewald on a drive as he tossed it over to Steve Dunlap, and the 6-foot junior puts it up and in at 17-13. Montour leads Thomas Jefferson at 3:45 here in the second quarter.
Montour, the bob and weave right through a zone. And now you see a little of an ankle breaker there. Some TJ players falling down. TJ stayed in this man-to-man, and it's really surprising, except for when they go to the paint, but they're still so much smaller. It's really, they're going to have to spread themselves out and get some help.
That was Caleb Bryan, who got a wide-open pass right underneath the basket and did one head fake, and 2 Thomas Jefferson Jaguars run right over his head. By every definition of every rule book in high school basketball, that's going to be called a foul, so that will send Bryan to the line.
Yeah, TJ doing everything they can here, but it's getting obvious now they're trying to do the hack-a-shack in a way, and it's just not been effective at all.
So here's Caleb Bryan getting 2 shots. That was Thomas Jefferson's 9th foul. And the second one that went against Zane Zandier. Missed them both. Rebound to Thomas Jefferson. And they lead it. Pass ahead to Sarber. Sarber in the corner. Got it away quickly to Dunlap. Dunlap, 2 dribbles to the baseline, lost it out of bounds. And Montour did not touch it, so they will get the basketball now.
And that was kind of a cardinal rule, though, on the breakaway that TJ broke, where they got the pass. It was the quarterback pass to our receiver, but in the corner of the court where Montour is able to swarm you there and strangle the offensive player, forcing him out of bounds.
3 minutes to play in the quarter, 18-13. Montour using this offensive outside perimeter. Under some pressure there was Cam Colliers. Colliers worked it back over to LeBrie. LeBrie has the basketball now. To his right in Rhodes. KJ Rhodes back up top for Caleb Bryant. LeBrie over to the far side. 3 balls in the way, on its way and off the rim. No good by Braden Jones. And the rebound goes to Thomas Jefferson. Gentili stopped in the paint, kicked it back outside. Jump step, shot is on its way and fell off the rim, thrown up by Russell Zeiss. Rebound to Montour. That went off of Thomas Jefferson's hand, but Montour was able to find the basketball. Throw up a 3 by Bryan was no good, and a foul will be called at 2:14.
TJ just can't buy a basket.
No.
Not only are they missed layups and had some bad fouls, but they just cannot buy a basket. Even when they win the rebounding battle, they still happen to miss. And Montour's really played Tyrell Elam perfectly in this game, giving him some rest, getting him back in this game, feeling momentum. He comes in during the momentum swings.
I was talking to one of the Thomas Jefferson assistants, Bill Ayer, earlier, a Clarendon graduate, by the way, and worked it down inside. Shot missed again, thrown up by Sarber, out of bounds off of Thomas Jefferson, back the way of Montour. And what I was going to say is Ayer told me they get open looks. They just have not been able to make a shot this year, and that is becoming even more evident here tonight.
Well, and when you're a smaller team and you're a shooting team, you're gonna have your cold spurts. They've had often of those here tonight. They have often of those throughout the season. They got to keep on shooting. They're getting open, so it's not really a basketball scheme that needs change. They just really got to hit their shots, and that's something you just got to keep waiting for and let grow with a younger team. But when you're a shooting team, it's risky.
30-second timeout taken by Montour. 18-13 our score. As high school hoops on the Champ Sports Network, brought to you by Panera Bread. And we were talking earlier, if you recognize the last name, Dom Sleva, younger brother of Dustin Sleva, who was a huge part of Montour's run as a basketball power. And they got a lot of youth, both of these teams. Thomas Jefferson lost 15 seniors last year.
In high school and college sports, you're going to have a turnover. You're not going to be able to have somebody there for a decade, even if the coach has success for a decade. You're going to have to adapt.
Some eligibility rules.
It might be. You're going to have to adapt. And, there's no grad school in high school. There's none of those rules. You can't keep on taking classes.
I kind of feel like I might be the grad school. I just don't feel like I go away.
No, maybe, much to some of their chagrins. But
no doubt.
Keep on remaining. You're very determined, Matt Fargo.
30 ball off the rim. And no good by Thomas Jefferson as they threw that one up. That was Zeiss who threw it up, went out of bounds. Thomas Jefferson will maintain possession of that one. 1:34 to play here in the second. 18-13 our score. Montour gets it into Zeiss, and he'll spin move on the baseline. The big fellow with some touch.
Yeah, and that was a spin move. That was an athletic move. That was one-on-one, and then let his hands stay up there for the fadeaway. That was a highlight reel basket for TJ as they finally get on the scoreboard again.
He has 4. 18-15 now, coming up on 1:10 to play the first half. LeBrie with the basketball outside to Rhodes. Rhodes at the top of the key. Pulls back to the center line. Gets a screen from Elam. Takes the right side drive. Well, too much on that hook shot. That's no good. Thomas Jefferson quickly up the floor. Ahead lead pass over to C.J. Mason. He puts the layup up and in. It's a 1-point basketball game. 18-17.
And really, I was about to say all the dominance Montour had for a while in the scoring drive of TJ, they didn't really get enough. They really weren't getting enough baskets. They were doing a lot. They were taking time off the clock and missing some free throws, though, and not able to really do enough. They probably should have been up 28-13 instead of 18-13, and now only a 1-point lead after really outplaying TJ through most of this first half.
Well, Thomas Jefferson, C.J. Mason picks up his 3rd foul. That's always tough to pick up your 3rd foul with seconds left in the first half. That sent LeBrie to the line, and he hits his first, expanding the lead. That's the point guard's first points of the night. You'll have another one coming up.
One thing, though, for Montour that they can take comfort in, unlike TJ, there's really no hot and cold chances with their team. When you have a big team, when you can go to the paint, when you can get layups, when you can go against two defenders and score and then draw fouls and you make those free throws, which they hadn't made recently but usually do, you can come back in a hurry, you can build a lead in a hurry, and you can build wins in a hurry, which gives you more hope for maybe them winning more this season than, say, a TJ off just kind of a shooting touch.
Outside, bobbled that one was Gentile. He had to pull it out. Heads up play there, got it away to Zeiss.
TJ wants to slow this game down and maybe have this be the last shot.
15 seconds, it's 20-17. Thomas Jefferson is going to play for the last shot. To the left side. Back up top.
Zeiss watching the ball. Watching the ball, not the shooter.
Inside. Now outside. Fadeaway shot at the buzzer. Does not go. Thrown up by Sarver. And that is going to be the way we end the first half with our score. The Montour Spartans 20, the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars 17 from the Montour Athletic Center. So Thomas Jefferson trailing the Spartans after one half of play. When we come back, we'll recap that first half and get you set for the second. Talk a little bit more high school basketball. High school hoops back in full swing. No more football to talk about. Straight basketball from here on out.
It might be depressing for some, a little bit depressing here, leaving the WPIAL football part of the season, but still the basketball never disappoints. And there's a lot of history there, maybe not as known nationally, but there's a lot of heat still on the hardwood, just as much as there was in the gridiron. A long season still to go.
We'll be back to Montour after these words on the Champ Sports Network. 20-17, Montour leads this one over TJ.
I'm Scott Davis, the head of Panera Bread's culinary team, and I want to tell you about our new spinach power salad. The idea behind this salad is to give you sustainable energy to get you through the day. We started with baby spinach. Can't get better than that for a green. Roasted mushrooms, take some olive oil, you season them up, heat them over the fire real hot, caramelize them, add a hard-boiled egg to that, a little applewood smoked bacon, great smoky Vidalia onion vinaigrette that we created, and you top it off with some frizzled onions just for some fun. The new spinach power salad, only at Panera Bread. And don't forget Panera for all your catering needs.
That's the Bash Foundation. Follow your WPIAL team anywhere you Champ Sports Network mobile app, iPhone or Android, powered by Sport Engine. Just research Sport NGI on your app store and get access to scores, standing, and stats. Even upload pictures and videos. Sport Engine app from Champ Sports Network. Champions play here.
I'm Janelle Wright, a Panera Bread customer. I am the mother of 4 children, and I'm a professional violinist. After eating the breakfast sandwich, I know that I'm fueled for the day and I feel satisfied. To me, this is the only fresh, wholesome option out there because the competitors have something that's processed that they're warming up in the microwave. What I love about the breakfast power sandwich are the wonderful ingredients. It's the all-natural egg, the Vermont white cheddar, and smoked ham on freshly baked whole grain bread. Something under 350 calories. Panera Bread, make today better.
My name is Dale Pazinski, and this is how I live united. I've helping the homeless in my community by teaching computer skills and helping them build a basic resume to save on their very own USB drive. It's huge when somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Golden Corral is the best deal in America.
That is music to my
I like the sound of that.
It's scrumptious appetizers, Amazon like premium.
Back to K-Town, McKees Rocks, Robinson, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Back alongside Mike Asti, I'm Matt Fargo. Champ Sports Network, high school hoops as we migrate and switch gears from football to basketball finally. A little later than normal with Champs, by the way, but
it does feel later.
It does. It feels a lot later than normal, but yeah, we're glad to do it. 20-17 at the break here, and Montour leads Thomas Jefferson, and some interesting. Do you feel almost? It seems like there's a little bit more of a changing of the guard. There's in basketball, of course, you have who's going to win in a single way now. You have no idea. Lincoln Park's gone. North Catholic maybe. Are they going to be the team to beat in single way? Now Lincoln Park's in double A. There's just a quandary of schools in double A now. You have Old Shop sets Quaker Valley last night. That's going to be interesting. You have Lincoln Park now in double A. You have Aliquippa, who's just creaming everybody at this point in the season. They destroyed a really good Beaver program already. So you have those topics to talk about in the lower classifications. In Triple A, is it Chartiers Valley? Are they going to kind of maintain their dominance, or is there some talk of some other teams that are going to sneak up there? And then in Quad A, you have a Hempfield team who's the favorite. And Hempfield isn't really known for a whole lot of athletic achievement as far as that's concerned, but the mainstay teams in Quad A are kind of on a down year this year. So I think high school basketball is going to be very interesting this year.
And ironically, as we pivot from WPIAL football, WPIAL basketball, you saw some of that during the football season, where the normal prohibited powers weren't who they used to be. North Allegheny and those teams kind of a little bit on a downward year or so due to some athletes graduating and kind of in some rebuilding programs. You see a Pine Richland team that hadn't been a champion before in Quad A be a champion and beat a Central Catholic team to get there that normally is on the mountaintop in Quad A. And it was really the same thing all the way through at those different levels. The teams that normally were there were competitive. I'm not saying they all of a sudden didn't get a win during the season, but they weren't able to be as great as they used to be. And you're going to see some of that again during the basketball season, some of the same athletes, so it's not too weird, I guess. But a Lincoln Park team, number one, you just go immediately to single A and say Lincoln Park.
Double.
Yeah, no, now they're in double A,
right.
But I mean, having been in single A and having owned single A and not and owned with every sense of the word and being either a champion or being a favorite or being right there for the championship every single season, going to PI double A and thinking they're going to be a state champion and WPIAL crowns, and really built themselves as the cream of the crop in single A and kind of enjoyed that and relished it. But there always was the conversations of, hey, what if they played this team in double A? What if they played, this team even in triple A? They got the athletes, they're the Globetrotters, they're going to be that arrogant, but what if they play these other teams? Now we're going to get to see some of those conversations and might create more losses, and some of those fans for Lincoln Park, maybe they might go from being a little bit up to being elated to being a little bit upset, because it might be more difficult sledding for them, but it might be more competitive basketball. It still might be more interesting. More rivalries are going to be possible now. And you go to Quad A and you throw a team like Hempfield and you call them a favorite, and it makes everybody scratch their head. But on the court, that's so far what we're seeing, and you never do know it throughout a season. But it's definitely going to be a different year in the WPIAL basketball season, like it was different for the WPIAL football season. But it's not necessarily worse. It was still a wonderful WPIAL football season. Could be the same for the basketball year. And I think Lincoln Park is one of those schools that is up for the challenge. They got their WPIAL championships. They played for state championships. They've really done it all at the single A classification. And I think now, okay, let's really establish ourselves in double A, and let's ruin some of their success that some of those schools have been having.
Oh, it's going to be fun at double A. Double A is going to be the talk of the town. Of course, it has the most schools out of any classification of the WPIAL. Real quick, breaking some news. If you have been only listening and don't have a smartphone, Steve Peterson has been relieved of his duties as directing athletics at the University of Pittsburgh. And hopefully you can't tell that I'm all too upset about that.
You say you couldn't even get through the
really
read. You couldn't even get through the read. I was trying to, handle myself here.
I don't know if anyone is really upset about that. Maybe I don't even know. Maybe Steve Peterson is.
Yeah, and I did see some reports too from credential Pittsburgh media that said that they heard rumblings that Steve Peterson was going to be let go or quote unquote was going to resign after next athletic year, regardless of what happened with Paul Chris and his exit to Wisconsin. Maybe who knows if that's accurate or not? It's definitely believable on what's going on with the Pitt program, and it's unfortunate. It is a historic program athletically. They've been able to do it in basketball still, but not in football. And, you know, you just go through the continual embarrassment of coaches leaving. I don't care if maybe it's a dream job and you played coach there and your mother and everyone else walk down the street next to the campus. But still, you just can't keep letting it occurring. And it might have just kind of been too much for Steve Peterson. It might be best for him to move on as well as Pitt to move on. And it will now, though, be something to watch because you have a school that's going to have to hire a coach and an athletic director simultaneously. That's rare.
Well, or not, maybe not simultaneously, maybe one before the other, and you would have to assume the athletic director would have to be first, which is really going to put Pitt behind the 8 ball as far as hiring a coach.
Right, because you go to, say, West Virginia with Oliver Luck moving on to an executive role in the NCAA, they have to find a new athletic director, but they have a head coach that's going to be there in basketball and football and beyond. You don't want to have to be finding both at the same time. It does derail one of those searches, and you're already behind the 8 ball having to do the search in the middle of a bowl season, middle of the postseason, and about to be the offseason when these other coaches have already been hired. So definitely hope for the best for Pitt, even though my degree says a rival school on it. But
well, we begin things here in the second half. Thomas Jefferson with the basketball. They trail 20-17. Welcome you inside the Montour Athletic Center here on Champs. A little jumper thrown up. Wow, on the shooter's roll. How about Caleb, or I beg your pardon, Russell Zeese getting that shooter's roll, tying things up at 20.
Well, TJ went from not being able to buy a basket towards the end of that first half to now hitting one that they probably couldn't hit again. A nice little roll around the rim, a really lucky outside shot. But now they're very much back in this game after kind of losing touch a little bit towards the middle. Momentum has swung around, and it's very much a back-and-forth game. But when you have a player like Tyrell Elam from Montour, that big and that size, has been really able to be the edge for them so far, and we'll see what happens here in the second half.
Foul was called on Steve Dunlap. That's the team's first. Montour on the baseline jumper. Cam Colliers gets it in. The sophomore claps in approval, and it's 22, and they did take 1 point away, but keep in mind it's 20-17. Montour scorekeeper not being able to add tonight, and apparently me either. 3 ball on its way. C.J. Mason drains it, and 19 plus 3 equals 22, and that works.
They were able to add that one, 22 apiece. They got the simple math.
Montour, so hooked on phonics for math. Is that
I think there was hooked on phonics for everything.
Yeah,
I think that was the point of hooked on phonics.
I think so.
To help the middle schoolers.
Foul is charged. So we dropped the hooked on phonics check. We dusted that one off the shelf.
I haven't said hooked on phonics on air in maybe 2 calendar years. So that was. I'm pleased to get it back on the broadcast.
It's good to be back. Round the perimeter. Inside, Elam fouled on the way up. The big fellow head of the line for 2. Couldn't get the bucket.
More smiling, though. I'm happy that Montour's happy, but I think it's turned into a little bit of cockiness. But, hey, they want to intimidate. They were up in this game. They feel like they should be up more in this game. They feel like they're the better and more talented team. They are the bigger team. And while TJ's been aggressive and really has not shied away from them, they feel like they should win this game and anything else will be an upset. And they want to let TJ know that, hey, we're going to – guys, that's what we got to be. We want to get our first win more than you want to get your first win.
All right, here's Elam after he missed the first. Second on the way, off the front of the rim, tipped around, loose basketball. Ball went off of the hand of Colliers. Montour. Good performance by the Montour dance team at halftime, by the way.
Yeah, they kept the beat, and they were all in sync. Very not common with high school
and the foul.
And now TJ's now bringing the smiling, and TJ's now bringing the clapping, and they're kind of saying, hey, what you can do, we can do better. We can celebrate as well. And the game goes to a lead of their own. This Man, when was the last time TJ had a lead, too?
Early on this one. I believe it was 9-6 at that point. Shooters roll on the three-point play completed to Cam Sarber. It is 25-22. Thomas Jefferson leads it.
And if you're watching this game without a scoreboard in front of you, you probably would have thought Montour was up by at least 10 points.
Yeah.
The pace of this game.
On the hook shot, Elam up and fouled. And you know what? You pointed this out earlier in this game. Montour, or the officials, are doing a great job of, sometimes big fellas just do not get the calls.
I praise the referees.
Yes,
How about that?
I know. This is weird.
How about that?
But the one time you did, you're absolutely right in that sense, too.
I give them their due.
Got to give them their due for wearing those zebra stripes.
Well, I mean, it's a game where just
not very.
You're looking at the lineups and you're seeing players power over the others. You're seeing the first few minutes. You're seeing the aggressiveness on both teams. You're seeing some fouls being called and some elbows being laid out. And hey, you got to control this game. You got to make sure if you're TJ, you're going to tell them, hey, you can't intentionally try to foul. We're not going to just throw you and pepper you to the free throw line because you're undersized. And if you're Montour, you're not going to be tossing everybody and ragdolling them all over the court. And the referees have done a fabulous job of that.
Elam missed his two, though, so TJ maintains the 25-22 lead. Montour will inbound, get it into the near side wing, and dump it into Elam. He lost control momentarily, kicked it back outside. Three's on its way from Rhodes, well off the mark. Thomas Jefferson to the basketball. Lead pass ahead to Sarber. Sarber kicked it outside to Mason. Mason swinged it around the perimeter to the near side wing. Three balls on the way from Gentili. It's no good. And out of bounds off of the Jaguars. Back to the Spartans at 6:02 here in the third.
That TJ bench is that's a volcano right there. They're taking every shot to the heart.
Dom DeSico is
popping a vein.
Inside, Elam missed the hook shot. Rebound nicely pulled down by Thomas Jefferson. That was Zandier who got the rebound. Deep three, Mason off the back of the rim. Rebound, fought for, won by TJ. Pull up J by Sarber is good. Timeout TJ, and it's 27-22. Jags on top of the Spartans. And TJ, albeit a slow start, one where they missed a lot of shots in that first half, are now starting to hit them. And I think maybe the biggest difference, Mike, is early in this game, Thomas Jefferson was one and done up the floor. One shot, they were giving the ball right back to Montour. Even on that possession, a perfect example of these last couple times they've gone up the floor. If they missed that first shot, they've got to rebound and put it back in.
They've also figured something out, which I was waiting for them to figure out. They're not really playing this 5-on-5 anymore. They're putting two on Tyrell Elam the entire game to try and take him out of this game, because the reason why they're going one and done so often, he was getting all the rebounds. They basically said, hey, we're going to leave somebody else open for Montour, but we're going to double cover him the entire game, and we're going to try to get our shots. Maybe we start to heat up, which they have done offensively while Montour has been cold, but Montour is not going to be able to just win this game by themselves with just Tyrell Elam, which is kind of what they were doing in that first half. And now can Montour come back, and can TJ keep tacking on to only a 5-point lead?
Justin Farrell's in Elam's side pocket, but this time Elam backing down, no problem, gets the bucket to go. And Elam has 8 on the night for Montour. It's 27-24. On the left side, it's Mason pulling it back out.
As much as you want to try to remove him from the game, you can't do it fully, as he's able to go through two defenders sometimes and score, but just not going to happen every time down the floor.
Getting a great screen from the official is the announcer.
A set screen in hockey, he would have been able to maybe help a goal.
Montour foul charged to Caleb Bryant, his third, the team's second of the second half. Inbound for TJ. Elam straight up and down, not giving him anything. Sarber lost control of the basketball, taken away by Labrie. Labrie's going all the way, and he is fouled before the shot. We'll have a Montour inbound from the baseline.
I think Montour and TJ both were setting up like they thought there was going to be a free throw.
Justin Farrell got charged for his first foul, the team's 5th. Inbound from the baseline to the far side wing to Labrie. Back over to the far side wing, and Rhodes. And a kick ball by TJ. Keep it. We'll redo this here, and another inbound coming. Montour's triggerman will be Braden Jones. Jones gets it into LeBrie. 4:35 to play in the third. 27-24. Low scoring affair here in Montour tonight. To the far side wing and Rhodes. Rhodes, one dribble. Got it over to Colliers to the near side wing, and LeBrie. Cross-court pass over to the far side, and Colliers. Colliers draws the baseline, kicks it out to Elam, who kicks it out to Rhodes. Deep three on the way. Clangs off the rim, no good. The rebound to TJ. Sarber pulled it down and moves it up ahead. Zeiss with the basketball all the way. Hook shot, pass out to the far side wing. A foul is called. It's offensive on TJ. The three was no good. It was off the rim.
And for Montour, I'm waiting for them to go again to the paint. They were living in the paint in the beginning of that first half. They got to live there again the rest of this game if they want to get the win. These outside shots, that's fine when you're hitting them, but they're not an outside shooting team. They're not a silky team. They're an aggressive team. They go through the paint. They need to use their bigs and go through the paint. Go even add a double or triple team. They were scoring in the first half doing it. Why stop trying?
Rotating the basketball are the Spartans after that foul. That was called on Thomas Jefferson Zandier, his third, team sixth here of this third quarter.
Gentile getting a little angry there. The referees are not going to put up with that for too long, as you're seeing consecutive fouls called against TJ and some angry claps of their hands at the referees. The referees are calling a tight, close game. They want to make this as fair as possible with two teams different in style and how they're sized.
Three ball from Butter. Off the rim, no good. Rebound to Thomas Jefferson. They move it up the floor. C.J. Mason on the near side. Mason, crossover move. Cross-court pass to the far side wing is Zeiss. Zeiss worked it inside. Loose basketball picked up off the floor. TJ kicked it out to C.J. C.J. for three. That one off the rim, no good. And Butter the rebound from Montour, and he moves it ahead to LeBrie. LeBrie on a right-handed dribble. Crossover move to buy separation at the 3:15 mark of the third. To Butter in the corner. Back up top to LeBrie. LeBrie searching for a teammate. He finds Rhodes on the near side wing. Bounce pass inside and a missed shot thrown up by Braden Jones. The rebound to TJ. He worked it inside. A great pass in to Sarber, and a great job by Zeiss to get it over to him. Sarber has 9 on the night. Heavily guarded on LeBrie.
Until thought he had a steal there.
Moved it over to Jones. Jones back over to LeBrie. Near side to Rhodes. Bounce pass inside Elam. Throw up a shot. Sat on the rim and fell out. Foul is called. Elam back to the line.
And you could have even called an offensive foul there. I was kind of maybe thinking there might have been an offensive foul because it was an elbow. Elam went in with the elbow on 3 defenders, but they gave him the call. A little bit of a swap, but he went in with the elbow. That really should have been an offensive foul on Tyrell.
First shot on the way for Elam. Misses that one. Has not done as well at the line here in the second half for Elam.
No, when you're a big, you're going to get yourself to the free throw line constantly, but when you make those free throws, it doesn't matter. When you miss them, you can see your team lose a lead, and you can see the game changing its complexion, which is kind of what has happened in favor of TJ.
Second one missed. High off the glass. Rebound to Dunlap and Thomas Jefferson.
It's really been a different second half for Terrell Elam from that first half, where he was just such a beast. He's not been that in the second half, and ever since he stopped being that, it's been all TJ.
Mason for three, and it's good. He drains it. He was wide open, and Mason made him pay 32-24. It's the largest lead by any team in this one. He have a timeout on the floor. Montour takes a full timeout at 2:05 here in the third. 32-24, Thomas Jefferson. And you are absolutely right. Complexion of this game has completely changed, and it's in favor of the Jaguars.
Yeah, and you look at that last offensive possession, leaving an outside shooter wide open, a mile around him to post up and pop, drop, and take the shot and let it splash in for Thomas Jefferson now, 32-24. And Montour now is the one shaking their head. They're the ones rolling their eyes, where you see all the smiles on TJ and all the arrogance and cockiness over on TJ, and kind of just serving with the game, the way this game has changed. And you look, if I'm Montour, you do need to defend the outside. You can't just clog up the paint and leave outside shooters. That's maybe how they could guard you, but you can't mirror them. These two teams are so different. They have the outside shooters to kind of cure that. And Tyrell Elam, you don't want to put the pressure that he needs to single-handedly carry this game, but he does need to be the best player on this court for Montour to win. He needs to take over this game. He needs to be able to shoot with two defenders on him. He needs to be able to take his fouls and make his free throws. He's not been doing that most of the second half, and if he doesn't do it, I don't see how Montour possibly can win.
So after the timeout, Montour basketball.
You can see the facial expression on him. His facial expression is different, and it's not in the positive.
Nearly taken away by TJ, but Rhodes saved it from being a turnover. He'll get the ball back. Labrie, head fake, drive, finger roll shot, no good. In and out, rebounded TJ. Zandier pulled it down off the glass. CJ Mason up the floor. The junior. Bounce pass to get it over to Sarber, who is also, he is a senior, I beg your pardon. 32-24. A drive and an open lane for, he is fouled hard into the padded wall here at Montour's Athletic Center, and that will send Frank Gentili to the line.
You know, and as Tyrell Elam from Montour has kind of been taken away from this game, Gentili has been that and everything, and been the spark plug and the MVP for Thomas Jefferson. He's falling over the court. He's rolling around. He's doing one-on-one. He's getting steals. He's flipping the coverage. He's hitting big shots. He's making his free throws, taking fouls. He's doing everything that Elam was doing for Montour in the first half now for Thomas Jefferson here in the second half.
Good converts, 34-24. 10-point advantage, Thomas Jefferson. Minute 20 to go in the third. A lot of pressure. Butter near side wing. Three ball is good. Montour trying to work their way back. And a three starts it.
An outside shot with two defenders and a hand in his face. TJ playing the zone and just able to hit the shot over it.
Mike Butter, a junior for this Montour squad. Here's TJ back with 51 seconds. Head coach Tom DeSico if Thomas Jefferson takes the timeout.
Finally a shot that was like butter. Finally a butter-like shot for Mr. Butter and Montour.
Mike, I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, I was almost gonna, another miss though off the ball, clanking around. I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna use butter as a joke. I was letting him go, but finally able to hit one and have it be as smooth as butter. Kind of like my voice.
Oh wow. No comment. Hey, don't forget, coming up next week, live from Dallas, Texas, and AT&T Stadium, Champ Sports Network presents the 2014 All-American Bowl.
You want some professional facilities? That's an athletic center. That's an athletic center. That is an athletic center.
I'm gonna try to turn that TV on and check out some Sports Center on that TV while I'm there. So,
yeah,
that's my goal.
Yeah,
I'm going early. I'm getting a tour. So I'm excited to get the tour
of Jerry's World.
Yeah, of Jerry's World.
You can then let Jerry know what he's done, and if you do approve of it, because it is more than just the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Some even say that it's not even a home field advantage for the Dallas Cowboys, that it's so spacious and they do so much else there and have wrestling there and other events there and NCAA tournaments and so many seatings. It's like a college field, really, but so advanced technology-wise.
Good friend of the network, Tom DeSico, gave me a nice look there after the timeout. He's over a little bit of stress tonight.
I'll say it's been one of those roller coaster rides for his emotions as well as on the basketball court. Entertaining, though.
Gentili out to Mason after the timeout. We got 40 seconds to play here in the third. 34-27. Near side. Cam Sarber Bounce pass to Mason. And DeSico calling to hold on to the ball and hold on to the last shot. The Glorious not having to worry about a shot clock in high school basketball, although one of the few high school basketball facilities that have a shot clock. I don't know when they would ever need it.
They can do it all here. This is Jerry World of the WPIAL AAA
5
basketball.
seconds. C.J. Mason. Mason with 3, 2, off the rim, no good, at the buzzer. We have a 34-27 game in favor of Thomas Jefferson over the Montour Spartans after 3 high school hoops here on the Champ Sports Network. Alongside Mike Asti and Matt Farago. And, All-American Bowl, that is on December 23rd from AT&T Stadium at 6 and 8 p.m., the 2 games.
The eve of Christmas Eve.
The eve of Christmas Eve.
The All-American Bowl.
And now I'm taking one for the team. I'm going to be out of town and going to have to travel on Christmas Eve.
No, it's gonna be tough for you. But I've not been to Jerry's World. I've been to Dallas. I've been to that part of Texas, and I am a fan.
I'm excited. Excited to check out Jerry's World.
Get yourself some barbecue. Go Jerry's World. And
it's really funny. Maybe I should get some kind of like ethnic food because I was in Mexico and they gave us barbecue. Like, this is really strange. I'm a little confused here.
They were trying to make you feel at home.
I guess so, yeah.
Not realizing what part of the United States you were from. Not really the barbecue
not really,
flavor. No. But you're going there. And
it was very good, too.
You can let us know, too, if the Jumbotron that is down below that hangs over the 50-yard line, if it's really as large as some say. Pat McAfee, I know, set a goal for himself to kick the ball off of there on a punt. And I don't know if he achieved that or not. We see it. Oh, look, maybe it was an injury there for Thomas Jefferson rolling around on his knee.
It was a traveling call. Zandier was the one who...
Coach shouting to his player, are you all right? And he's not really recognized him. He's saying he's fine, I guess.
Montour inbounds to LeBrie. To Rhodes and back to LeBrie. Head fake there by LeBrie. He maintains possession of the basketball. To his left.
Zandier still limping around.
Yeah, he's still feeling that one. 3 on the way from Butter. I think off the rim, no good. Foul.
7 minutes left in this game. I'd give him a rest for a minute or two. I think I would take him out of this right now. He's not even really able to defend.
Mason pulls down his 4th foul, and Mason's been the big outside shooter for this team. He has 11 points. That leads all scorers. And that foul will send Cam Colliers to the line for Montour.
It's most importantly for Montour, though. They got to score offensively. They have just been in a dry spell. I think 3 points the entire third quarter.
And
what was it?
Out on the floor right now, you have the total. The players on the floor have a total of 6 points. Of the 27 have been scored.
And Elam driving most of that offense. And he's kind of, again.
Elam has 3 of those 6.
His decline has really been a major switch in this game.
Turnover, give us the take it away. Montour took it away from TJ. TJ took it away from Montour. Montour takes it away from TJ again. Inside, throw up a shot, no foul call. TJ gets the rebound. Lead pass up ahead to Mason. Mason trick shot. He is fouled and head of the line.
Coach settling his TJ team down a little bit here. Does not want them to lose control.
Montour picks up another foul. Randall LeBrie, his first, the team's 4th. And here's Mason at the line.
Two teams look sluggish in that first half. There's been a track meet here in the second. I don't know if they were able to catch their rest at halftime and have been able to now run a sprint.
Second one on the way. Good for Mason. 35-27. Reminder, it will be Montour going to be able to be shooting one-on-ones for the duration of this one. TJ already has 8 fouls. Good ball movement by Montour. Got it inside to Elam. He'll go up strong with it, but miss. Tipped around. Rebound to Sarber and Thomas Jefferson. Tracking it down was Gentili, and he got away to Mason.
And also for TJ, a good job of getting right over to Elam. Montour just wants to find Elam underneath the hoop. They want to find him there because he can have a double team, but you get him a triple team and make it harder and harder on him.
Inside, Cam Sarber for 2, and it's 37-27. Back out to a 10-point advantage. That's the largest, ties the largest lead.
I think this plan of just finding Elam underneath the hoop is not going to win this game for Montour, and that's really been their plan all night.
Montour needs points desperately on this trip. Labrie throws up a shot, no good. Elam the rebound and will throw up a shot and be fouled. So that should mean he does get 2 here, as he was throwing that one up.
He was shooting and was falling, yeah, between 3 defenders again. But TJ they're triple teaming him every time on the court because they realize Montour just wants to feed him the basketball. Montour's not even shooting outside anymore. They're not really even finding anybody else. They're becoming a very one-dimensional offense. And TJ's saying, hey, if all you're going to do is think Elam's going to be Shaquille O'Neal here and go through the middle and just win this game by himself, we're not going to allow it. And they have not.
Elam makes his first. That's Sarber's 3rd foul. Sarber has 11 now, and CJ Mason has 12. So how about that? TJ has 37. Mason and Sarber, a combined 23.
How about that math?
Yeah, hey,
all that
good.
phonics math.
There it is. Gentili and Mason play catch. Driving here to the near side wing is Gentili. He'll pull up off the back iron, tipped away. TJ could not get it. Nice job by Montour. Colliers pulled it down, driving inside and up and fouled. As Labrie went up and was fouled. And they call Steve Dunlap. That's his 4th. Now the 3rd Thomas Jefferson Jaguar on the floor with 4 fouls.
And TJ's bench wants clarification from the referee. Gives him a little wink.
While Dom DeSica was reminding the official it's 10-4 in fouls, with 5 minutes and 28 seconds still left in this one.
Well, the 2 referees, and we complimented them in the first half how they were controlling this game. They've now kind of slowed up this game.
So only 2 of the 3 are doing it.
I'm on the verge of criticizing one of them. Well, that's a foreshadowing for the final 5 minutes.
That's beautiful. Converts at the line for Labrie. 37-30. A nice head fake by Mason. He'll drive. Missed the shot, though. Rebound pulled away. And they go jump ball. Yes, they do. And the arrow favors Thomas Jefferson. Spartans in the double bonus. TJ has a way to get to the bonus. Lob pass to get it in. They get it into Zeiss. He is fouled on the way up. Russell head to the line for Thomas Jefferson now.
Yeah, TJ now getting a rare trip to the free throw line, where they've been able to hit most of their free throws in this game.
Foul goes against Butter, his 3rd, the team's 5th. Both teams with 2 timeouts left. Misses the first. Good on the second. Montour going to bring in Mike Mastriani. Going to check in. Mike, a 5'9" sophomore.
And you see Terrell Elam not even in this game right now from Montour. I think they realized that, hey, that game plan was just not going to work, of feeding him and doing nothing else. Montour almost wants to play a track meet outside shooting game with TJ now. They were hitting their shots, doing it in the first half. We'll see if they can do it the rest of this one. Still 5 minutes remaining, and maybe we'll see Elam later.
5 minutes and they trail by 8. Montour has the basketball. Labrie on a drive. Sliced it. Dice got the 2 to fall. Beautiful drive by Randall Labrie.
And that's when Montour was at their best in that first half. When they were aggressive, it might have been an equal side, but they were aggressive. They were going through the middle, and they weren't afraid to go for a layup instead of the outside shot, or instead of just trying to bang underneath the glass for the rebound and second chance. They went through the middle. They got a layup. They scored, and they finally get off the snide.
TJ with the basketball. And Dom DeSico wants a timeout for his club. As it's 38-32. Got a good one here at the Montour Athletic Center. And two teams that are trying to notch their first victory of this 2014-2015 season. TJ 0-6 coming into tonight, and Montour 0-4. TJ losses to Bethel Park, McDowell, South Park. They lost a couple heartbreakers, too. They lost a 64-53 game to Laurel Highlands. They lost a 68-48 game to Ringgold. And they lost a 60-22 game to Uniontown. Montour, even more so on the heartbreaker side of things, as they've only played 4 games. They've lost to Chartiers Valley, who's in Quad A, by the way, 97-57. They lost to Mars 80-43. Lost to Baldwin 55-49. And just lost to section opponent McGuffey 59-58 yesterday. That was a tough one.
Well, I'll ask you quickly here. I talked about it earlier how it's easier for Montour to win games because they have the size edge, and it's not just a hot and cold shooting team like TJ is. Which one of these two teams do you feel has more of a promise to turn this thing around faster?
Well, I mean, it seems like you just don't know with Thomas Jefferson. If they could start hitting some shots, I think they have a good shot. But I think Montour has an equally good shot. I just think that they need to show that they can rely more on just the size inside with Elam, because that clearly Thomas Jefferson was able to figure out here in the second half.
If they can do more than Elam, I think Montour definitely has a better shot because they're a team that doesn't have to throw the dice so much on three-point shots.
4 minutes to go, 38-32. TJ missed the shot after the timeout. They get the ball, and here's a three on its way, in and out. Rhodes threw that up for Montour, missed the three. That would have made things really interesting quickly. 3:40 to go. CJ Mason, the far side wing in Sarber with 11 points tonight. CJ Mason conducting traffic here to the near side wing, the right side. Inside Gentili with the drive. It went off the rim, no good. And back the other way comes Montour. Randall Labrie with the basketball to the far side wing. Mastriani got it back over to Labrie. He'll drive. Hook shot on its way. No good. Rebound to TJ. Zeiss pulled it down. Gentili. Zandier and now a driving Sarber to the right side wing. Baseline shot on its way. Blocking foul on the way up with Steve Dunlap. Foul going against the sophomore Mike Mastriani. His first, the team's sixth. Steve Dunlap at the line. Misses the first off the front of the rim. Got to hit your free throws down the stretch. That's the key here.
I think, and you're finding out really why both these two teams are winless coming into this game. Both teams missing major free throws down the stretch.
Good on the second. 39-32. Montour up the floor quickly. Rhodes on the far side wing. Bounce pass inside to Elam. One dribble, kicked it back outside to Rhodes. Rhodes drive the baseline. It got tipped by C.J. Mason, who saves it before going out of bounds, and he bounces it back into the backcourt, who tracks it down as Zeiss and moves it ahead to Gentili and back to Zeiss. 39-32. To his left, it's C.J. Mason. Mason on the left side wing. Bounce pass off the window. It's good. And get it over to Cam Sarber. It's 13 now. 41-32. 2 minutes to play. Labrie to the far side. Rhodes. Inside to Jones. Outside Rhodes for three. No good. Tipped around. And Rhodes pulled down in his own rebound. Good job of chasing his shot there. As he had thrown up a three and was back in the paint before the ball had come down. Head fake by LeBrie. He'll drive. And we get a whistle and a blocking foul on TJ. And that will be 2 shots coming up here. That's the last thing if you're Thomas Jefferson. You don't want Montour going to the line knowing they're taking 2 shots with the clock stopped and now sits at 139.
Yeah, and TJ trying to clog the lane for Montour as they've been able to drive and penetrate and score some points the last few trips down the floor. But now it does cost them a foul. Montour missing free throws earlier, though, so maybe you can keep up this strategy. If they would miss, they do make that one.
Good on that first one. Mastriani back into the game for Elam.
Elam, about 20 seconds on the court there and leaves again. He's not been as effective as he was those first 10 minutes of this game with rebounding once they start triple teaming him.
Montour takes a timeout, 41-34. Thomas Jefferson leading Montour in this one, and this is a game in the early goings of this one that was controlled by Montour, and Thomas Jefferson really came out and made the right halftime adjustments, and that's why they're leading right now in this one.
Yeah, Montour was a team that I think maybe got a little too comfortable in how the game was going early on, and they were dominating early on and controlling the style of the game, but then TJ was able at halftime toward the end of that first half to realize, hey, if we can triple team Elam, take him out of this thing, we can hit some shots of ourselves. We were cold a little bit in that first half. Once they got hot and Montour not able to score themselves and missing free throws, TJ was really able to take hold of this game. And if you're TJ, they showed a lot of heart. They really have. They've showed some building blocks. They showed how they're a young team. They showed the talent they have. And if I'm on, because if I can learn how to get somebody besides just Elam as a focal point of my offense, if I can go just outside of just him and work around this team and try to feed inside the paint, I think Montour needs to go in the paint of who's on the floor, Elam or not. They only do when Elam's there. Try to feed Elam. Elam's not on the floor. They're around the same size, not, but still, that's what they're scoring. They're not going to be as consistent outside shooting as, say, a TJ.
Minute 39 to play after the timeout. TJ basketball. They're going to pressure the basketball, and Montour gets a turnover. No, still loose, still on the floor. Montour, and a jump ball is called, and it's favoring the Spartans. So they do get the arrow there. Couldn't get the turnover.
Returning for Montour, 34, timeout.
Lobbed it in to LeBrie. Near side. And there's a 3-second violation.
And that was being barked and yelled by the TJ bench as they've really been winning this chess match. When you get a veteran coach, too, he's not going to miss a beat. When you have a rebuilding team, it puts even more work for him to do and more of a test for him to do. And you're seeing here tonight that maybe he's also won the chess match in the coaching battle here for Dom DeSico and TJ.
Traveling the other way. So we'll give it back to Montour.
Until he did not like it. And again, going at the referees, he does need to watch that. Just an extra step on the travel. But Montour has kind of been a little bit enjoying some calls here, some friendly calls from the referees of late.
Minute 15 to go in regulation, 41-34. To the baseline, it's Rhodes, throws up a shot, no good, knocked away, loose, and finally picked up by C.J. Mason of Thomas Jefferson.
And could have called a travel there. Could have called an extra step travel carrying the basketball to the hoop on the layup attempt for Montour.
Minute to go, under a minute now, 57 seconds. And the foul will go against Montour's K.J. Rhodes. That's his first.
But Montour's going to have to be fouling every play now. And TJ's not made every free throw, so there would still be an opportunity.
Good on the first. We'll get another. C.J. Mason. Good on the second. 43-34. Montour needs a quick basket. They turn the basketball over. TJ will hold, and a foul is called. That will send Mason back to the line.
A little push and shove, too, by Colliers towards after the whistle.
Yeah,
this game getting a little heated. The referees, I'm not sure if they even called anything on that, but I
they
saw
did
it.
not.
And you do have to commend the referees because I know myself, I probably wouldn't be able to take the lip and probably would just be a loose cannon there on the floor if I was an official. But they take a lot, and they really, in this game, have kept their tempers because they got to, or else this game would be nuts.
Missed it. LeBrie going all the way. Foul is called, and that will send Randall LeBrie to the line to shoot 2 with 44 seconds left in Montour, trailing by 9.
And if you're TJ, you can't be sending Montour to the free throw line. Montour goes to the free throw line with the game clock stopped here during a comeback. Just unnecessary, and that was really just a little bit too aggressive on the defense. It wasn't even able to take a shot. It had 2 defenders on him. I think TJ is getting almost a little too in their psyche of, hey, this is Elam on the floor, and they're bigger than us. Elam currently not even on the floor. You're doing the same hack and shack mentality.
Good on another one for LeBrie. 43-36. TJ trying to break the press. They are able to do so. And a foul call with 35 seconds left. I believe this will send Sarber to the line. Sarber with 13. And CJ Mason with 14. Those are your leading point scorers on the night. (28 of the 44 points coming from either 11 or 2 in gray and gold. Another one coming for Cam Sarber. Make that 29 of the 45. 15 points for Sarber. He goes into the leading scorer. Blocking foul. Wow.
Another one in Gentile is now.
That was questionable.
But he almost needs restrained. I mean, he jumped off, punched the floor, and looked like he was going to go at a referee. I mean, 30 seconds of your team is winning. I do understand the frustration.
LeBrie hits the first.
Sometimes, though, when you have a younger team, you're not as, not to say mentally sound, but kind of mentally sound. Yeah, discipline would be a better term, probably.
Up the floor quickly for TJ. They get it away to Mason, and he'll go to the line with 25 seconds left. 45-38, TJ leads. Two shots coming for Mason.
Until he just looks like he is going to blow up over. I think these 25 seconds would be a blessing for him to just get this game over with. Now kind of has calm, referee and him are speaking.
Go to the second, 47-38.
Those free throws might seal the deal here.
Yeah. Going to need quick basket. LeBrie gets it to him.
And there it is. Montour hasn't had a quick basket all night until then.
47-40, and a foul call with 13 seconds left.
It just
TJ leading by 7.
Makes you wonder if either TJ could have made more free throws back in the first half, they wouldn't even have to worry about this, or really more importantly, if Montour could have made free throws, if Montour could have, added to their lead back in that first half. They were playing so much better than TJ when it was only 18-13 up by 5, but they could have been up by 20 points. TJ able to hit some shots, come back in the game. Elam not really able to dominate the rest the way he was earlier. And Montour just went on such a cold streak beginning of this second half.
Go to the second, 48-40. So 1 of 2 at the line. There was a foul charged to Gentili, and oh man, you just keep Montour in this game a little longer with 10 seconds.
Not to harp on this, but I'm going to be
his fifth.
I honestly think the frustrations and maybe the lack of discipline on Gentili is what the problem has been the last minute and a half, because he made the shot, the free throw, clapped his hands. It was unnecessary. Then he pointed and said, "We're going to go one-on-one." He reached in, grabbed his knee, then goes for the steal. I mean, it was just unnecessary. He's trying to, it's my ego, I'm better than you. The team is up by 8 points with 10 seconds. Literally, he could have jogged down the other side of the court and had this game won. Fully unnecessary, and now he's allowing Montour to hang on a little bit longer.
Labrie misses the first one, though, at the line. 10.2 seconds.
Yeah, fortunately, Montour's missed so many free throws. TJ is still going to win this game, but I think the coach, Tom DeSico, is telling immediately to his player and to Gentili, hey, that's not going on my team.
Down to 8 seconds as it went out of bounds, and Montour will get the inbound as it went off of TJ. And this one loose, picked up by Montour. Labrie under pressure, down with 4, wide open underneath, got the 2 to go, and that's going to way this game ends. Thomas Jefferson, their first win of the year, 48-42 over Montour. Here tonight, and there's kind of some big smiles on these TJ players' faces. I'm just going to try to grab Tom DeSico here.
Yeah, TJ got the win. TJ was the better team. TJ definitely deserving of the win. They had to come back in this game. They showed some pride. They hit some shots. They got streaky, and they made their free throws when they had to, and they adjusted at halftime when they had to kind of correct what was not going well for them in the first half. Montour has some blocks based on Elam and different things they can work on, but still, TJ does need to win with class in the victory, the first of the season. And TJ, a team that, despite being young, it's showing what they can do in the future. When you have a streaky team, you might miss some shots, but if you make them, you can be powerful, and Montour felt that. We are going to get an interview here and be met by the coach.
All right, Tom DeSico joins us now as TJ wins tonight, 48-42. And, Coach, this one is, I know, first win and a big win, but this has to feel pretty good.
Well, you know what? I'm really proud of the kids just because they've been through so much this year, with the success we've had every year in the past. And, they feel like they've let down sort of a tradition. But you see, they work their butts off. I mean, we're playing a lot of young kids. They're getting better. Our older kids, what people don't understand, our older kids, they're really young kids. This is the first time they ever play varsity. So I feel like we're just going to get better and better. And then we have Frankie Langan coming back tomorrow, so that's a big plus for us.
31 of your 48 points from 2 gentlemen. It's pretty big, and he really shot the lights out here in the second half.
CJ and Russ, they've struggled at times this year. CJ's really struggled. Tonight he stepped up big time. I mean, Russ has played really, really well last 3 games. And the thing about Russ, I've asked him to take on a different role and, get everybody involved. And I just think he's doing a great job of it. And I thought defensively he did a great job on their big kid.
Yeah, talk about that. The size there in the second or the first half was a big difference, and guys were able to really take him out of the game in the second half.
Yeah, you know what? He's so big, and I mean, he got nice feet. He keeps the ball up high, but I thought our guys beat him in the spots a little bit better in the second half and jammed him pretty well. We're a work in progress, no doubt, but you're right. It does feel good to get that first win.
Going forward, obviously, this is not a section game, but something to build off of, no doubt.
No question about it. I mean, we play a tough schedule. We love it like that. We play Bethel, Erie McDowell. We just play, South Park's very good this year, and we love our out-of-conference schedule. And we're in the NA tournament. We're playing Monessen and either NA or Westinghouse. But the only way you're going to get better is playing better people. And I just, I think we're going to get better as the year goes on.
Well, what do you think, Thomas Jefferson Basketball Network? We would just follow you all year?
I would love it if you guys did. If you could promise me a victory, I'm all in, boys.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure as always. Congratulations to head coach Tom DeSico and the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. 48-42 the final. One of my favorite, not only one of my favorite coaches in high school basketball, one of my favorite coaches in WPIAL. Really, Tom's a great guy, and
No, the other coaches listening in, though, thinking you probably told them they were your favorite.
No, I don't. I would never do that. I would never pick favorites like that. But, of course, Dom, the father of the DeSico clan, a lot of course, Zach has been on our airwaves. He's called some high school football with us. He's down in Bradenton running McKechnie Field. And you have Brock, who's been doing some big things. And, in NFL, it's just pretty cool to see this DeSico clan that's been pretty impressive throughout their history at Thomas Jefferson. Of course, Dom doing a great job as the head man for basketball. And you said at the beginning of the broadcast, these are two storied athletic programs. TJ and Montour have really been put at the top of the pinnacle of the athletic map in the WPIAL more than once in the last decade. And this was a good one.
Much so, Montour, even when they weren't winning on the football field, they were on a national network in a reality show. People know who they are, whether you're winning or not. These have been two of the staples of the area, and that's saying something.
Yeah, no question. And if you're Montour, they dropped to 0-5, and you really have to – it's a pretty tough start when you're if you're Dom DeSico, you're 35-1, you know that you're not going to have a WPIAL caliber championship team every single year. That's one thing. But now you have a little bit different story for Montour. You have a first-year coach in Will Saunders. How does he not lose the program here that when you start 0-5 and you're the first-year man, you're trying to keep this tradition that Adam Kaufman has left here, and now your program's 0-5 to start your tenure here? That's a lot different story.
Yeah, because you feel like you let down yourself. You feel like you'd let down the people that hired you, and you feel like, hey, they were doing it before you. Why can't you keep up with it? It puts even more pressure on yourself rather than, say, a Dom DeSico at TJ, who knows he's going to win. He knows the expectations in this program is so behind him they can, put up with maybe a couple of leaner years, and they're not going to be any ruffled feathers. So you can understand the pressure that it's on Montour, but really, if I'm Montour, they have an edge that even Dom DeSico was talking about here on the postgame show with you, that when they have a big like Tyrell Elam, it can make it an easier game for them. They don't have to be a streaky team. They don't have to worry about the outside shooting. They can just use one player and go through the middle, and he can shoot. When you have one guy that can shoot and still score over 2 or 3 defenders, and you can draw fouls, if you can make those free throws, you couldn't win games, and they were winning in that first half because of it. Once he was taken out of the game and TJ was able to adjust based on having a veteran coach and a talented team, that kind of was snapped and that was remedied, and then all of a sudden TJ ends up with the victory. But if I'm on tour, I need to find more than just Elam. You need to be able to work around him. It can't be so obvious you're trying to feed him the basketball underneath the hoop every single possession. Go to some of your shooters outside if he is covered, but allow Elam to be that aggressive and give him the basketball if he's able to cater for it. But you got to make his free throws, down there. You got to be a mentally strong team when you're playing like that. And if I'm TJ, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling hope-based in this game. I've showed I can come back in a game. I've showed pride. I've showed leadership in this game, even though it is a younger team and rebuilding. There's a lot of leadership on this team. They've seen the tradition. They put pressure on themselves. But, a player like Gentile going out there maybe shows some frustration that he shouldn't do, but also slapping the court and showing leadership and galvanizing the troops to get this comeback. And you see how well they played and how well he played individually, falling over the place and making shots over the court in this second half. They really, at TJ, almost are looking for someone else to maybe find a new superstar to follow around. And Elam could be that. Tyler Elam could be that player for Montour, and I think Gentile could be that player for TJ. So two teams, they're rebuilding. They got a lot of success in their history. They're not used to rebuilding, but I think there is a rebuild with the opportunity to win during the rebuild and maybe it to not be a long rebuild.
Well, if you're Montour, you really have a better situation than Thomas Jefferson either does, because Thomas Jefferson already has 3 section losses, and those are huge. Montour only has 1. So Montour can really try to turn the ship around when they open up section play, which they will be doing, I believe, on Friday against Keystone Oaks, who is 1-4 and 0-2 in the section. That's the team that they need to try to get their first win.
And until then, and in practice the rest of this season, They need to find another sniper. They need to find another player like Elam. They need to find that if Elam's triple teamed, maybe he's out of the game, they need to find somebody else to go to. They need not be an entirely outside shooting team, but they need to find a jump shooter, somebody that can also be aggressive. They need this team to be an aggressive team going through the middle. Elam's going to be the only one there who's towering over everybody, but they need to be an aggressive team going through the paint. When they were playing like that, and they were all playing like bigs, even though they're not all bigs in size, in that first half they were winning. They need to do that. They need to come in there and intimidate. Hey, we got the traditional center. We got Shaq on the floor, and we need to use him to our advantage and bang with teams, go into the glass and win rebounds and get second chance points and be aggressive. When Montour let it be that track meet, run up and down the floor, taking 3-point shots, they just couldn't match TJ. That's TJ's game. Montour's game needs to be aggressive, beast, second chance sloppy off rebounds, and you can do that when you have a big like Tyrell Elam. A lot to work on for Montour, a lot to build on, and TJ gets a win, a lot of hope for them as well with the talent, players like Gentili to captain them.
Thomas Jefferson's next opponent will be tomorrow, and they should just get a hotel. Why even go down to Jefferson Hills? They're going to go down the street to Moon tomorrow to play the Moon Tigers, who entered tonight 1-2 on the year, and they were taking on Upper St. Clair, who's 5-1 on the season. So not sure what officially. We just get the word in that St. Clair beat Moon tonight 71-28. So maybe an opportunity for TJ to pick up a second straight win here.
Yeah, they got a team that they're coming in with their heads held high, the reverse for their opponent, and they're feeling the stroke and how hot they were shooting in the second half of this game, and maybe the leadership they felt, and it's really could be something they can use as chemistry help for their team in a rebuilding year. So tell us and have they have the talent, they will not get playing them the rest of this season. Neither for teams going against Montour. There's a lot to work on, but also a lot of chance to get better and really improve as well for Montour. TJ get their dance. That's how much they're feeling the win. They finally got a win, and now they're dancing on the floor.
Hey, and you know what? I'm going to say something. A lot of people say, well, why do you do this game? You match up. These kids are working just as hard as the teams that are undefeated right now. There should be no reason one way or the other not to do it. That's my defense.
That's what Coach just said too. I mean, these are two programs, or you're going to get people interested. They want to know what's going on with these programs. And hey, if nationally, the Dallas Cowboys, who haven't been in the postseason in several years, can get on and be talked about every 10 seconds, and I think these programs can also get on the high school airways. No problem at all. I mean, everyone's going to get their love, and And you never know it's a long season. You never know a team. They have only one section loss so far for TJ. They get on a winning streak. They might be relevant, and maybe are going to build.
1 for Montour, 3 for TJ.
Yeah. But for Montour, I mean, it could propel and continue. So you just never know. Even TJ, having 3 second losses still, though. But they're getting better and they got this win. You never know. No problem getting anybody on the airwaves. And these are two teams that are rebuilding, but a lot of signs of improvement I've already seen on the floor.
All right, that's going to wrap up our high school basketball coverage here tonight. For Mike Asti, I'm Matt Farago saying this has been a presentation of the Champ Sports Network. Your final score, Thomas Jefferson defeats Montour tonight 48-42. From the Montour Athletic Center, this has been a presentation of the Champ Sports Network, where champions are heard. Good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time from Dallas, Texas, and AT&T Stadium for the 2014 All-American Bowl. Until then, good night.